13, election administrator. We have discussed this numerous times, and I'm going to start off by saying that the commission, and this is by statute, that the Commissioners Court by written order may create the position of county elections administrator for the county. It has to state the date of the creation of the position, and doesn't have to be this day. Even if we vote it, we have to set the date that it starts. It has to be within 12 days, 12 months after the date this order is adopted. And
say that again?
You mean within 12 months?
within 12 months.
Within 12 months.
We have to create it. To facilitate the orderly transfer of duties on the effective date, the order may authorize the Commissioners Court to employ the administrator designate not earlier than the 90th day before the effective date of the creation of the position, at a salary not to exceed that to be paid to the administrator. And I guess the reason for that is so that they can work and not be the administrator yet, but get training, if we wanted to do that. Now, the appointment is actually made by the County Election Commission. And the commission consists of the county judge, the county clerk, tax assessor collector, and the county chair of each political party. So that is, if we create the position, then the commission will put out the notices for employment, and then they will pick the person. The Commissioners Court sets the budget, so that'll be another thing we need to look at. Now, the job type generally would be full-time, but an exempt position that would not have overtime, because there would be a department head. And they would plan, coordinate, and manage the election department operations in compliance with the Texas Election Code and federal regulations, which involves holding elections, preparing ballot formats, and ordering and/or printing of the ballots, ordering, preparing, and furnishing election equipment and supplies, conducting early voting, preparing election returns for canvassing, and filing reports for candidates. And basically that means anything that has to do with elections would be involved, would be done under the election administrator. They must be able to coordinate the county's election and voter registration activities, ensure compliance with laws and regulations governing elections and voter rights, utilizing election equipment, establishing and maintaining effective working relationships with other Freestone County entities that perform elections, administer a budget and monitor expenses, ability to organize and report data, and to read, analyze, and interpret general business and professional manuals or governmental regulations. Now this is just a starting point. Special requirements may be required to work more than 40 hours during the work week and on Saturdays and holidays as necessary to perform some functions of early voting and election day in accordance with the Texas Election Code provisions, and must remain nonpartisan and independent in regards to political activity locally. Minimum qualifications would be at least a high school diploma or equivalent, and experience working with elections and voter registration functions is preferred. Doesn't say mandatory. And then, you know, there's other things that explain it more in depth of what the duties are, but mainly, I guess you would say it would be handling all the duties for the election.
Yes,
Just a short synopsis. Right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Did you, just to clarify this, did you say that they will be full-time and they will be an exempt employee?
Yes.
Who will they answer to? Since we're not going to appoint them, or we're not going to have any, who will they answer to?
I guess it would be the commission.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the
To the
commission,
who?
huh? The election,
Commission.
the county, what do they call it?
The one that won.
County election
One that hired.
commission. County election commission, and that tells you who's on that commission.
county judge, county clerk, tax assessor, collector, and the county chairs for the political parties.
That's great.
Don't have nothing to do with it.
But we will approve the salary and the budget, or do they do that?
We'll set that.
Salary, budget.
And one more thing I'm gonna read to you, I have to have a bond, of course, and I think some kind of bond.
Well, that goes through in that committee that picks them. They better explain that working Saturdays and holidays for no exempt employee, or most people ain't gonna wanna do that.
All right, now, abolishing the position. The Commissioners Court, by written order, may abolish the position of a county elections administrator at any time. But I would think that would be, well, enough said about that. All right, so there is, has been discussion about, creating the position of a county elections administrator.
I'm ready to hire one. I'm ready to create it, run the ad in the paper, turn it over to y'all and Doug and the committee, or what do you call it? Election.
The committee's the one that actually runs the ad.
Yes.
They do all that.
Yeah. Get the ball rolling.
We created that position, didn't we, in the budget last year?
No, we decided to wait until, January to talk about it again.
I'm here going hard.
I thought the money was coming from the county clerk's budget,
One position will be transferred from the county clerks.
and that's all we're looking to hire right now.
And then, the, voter part, registration part, is now being handled in the tax office. And that'll be a discussion of that too, like decide on
Well, we have money in the budget, though, election.
That's correct.
to-
We could transfer the money from the county clerk from that position that she's got.
Can we have election budget? We have a budget, is that what you're talking
it.
about?
We do, and we may have to supplement that some, but we do already have an elections budget, yes.
Yeah,
We've got the line items set up in there in that elections budget. Judge and I looked at that. So we'll just need to transfer some money. We're not gonna raise the budget. We're not gonna
The
raise
total
it.
budget, we're not, we're just gonna have to transfer.
Right, the bottom dollar, we're not gonna, raise that. We're just gonna transfer from one department to the other.
Might have to take some.
And we can do that.
But I guess the discussion with the registration, voter registration, is one person gonna be able to do all of that, especially a new person?
My suggestion is no. I do not know any part on the voter registration side. That's something I've never, had to learn. And they would have to be more of answering questions about those.
What percentage of your time each day do you think, on an average, that you would spend on voter registration?
I mean, I could spend all day long on it, but I can't now because we don't have enough people. But, I mean, it's a full at least a half a day for sure, if not the whole day. I mean, you're all constantly, like right now, I'm still trying to scan stuff from the last election. So there's a lot to it. And I'm getting ready for the next election.
If I'm not mistaken, it was mentioned, I think Mr. Clyde mentioned that if we take the employee from that office and from my office, then given our offices part-time to use for what we need in our regular county clerk and tax office duties, that was kind of mentioned. Is that an option? That we don't have to lose an employee exactly? It's been very hard for me with my employee being gone. I can't remember the exact day, but it's been 4 or 5 months. And it is difficult. So if we had part-time in both of our offices, that would really help us a lot.
And this person will be a county-wide election administrator. That means they will conduct city elections.
Just the county elections, not city, schools, and all the other.
But the voter registrar has to do, they have to get lists and everything ready for all those elections.
You know, that one time they had talked to us, some of the entities, about consolidating all of that. But, and they may, after we get an election administrator, want to talk about trying to do that.
We could get some money out of their kitty, that's it.
At one time, they were willing to input on it.
Yeah.
At one point in time,
Some
they
of them
were.
were.
Yes.
Some of them were.
Well, like I didn't know this, but like this, the city and the school and King City and King School, they use Limestone County to get.
They use their machines,
Yeah.
but if we get an election administrator, we would rent our machines to them.
Yeah.
Yes, we would.
So, I mean, I think that would help if we got an election administrator, get them.
We would definitely do that, provide that for them.
Why did they get their machine? Not ours.
All I know, and I didn't find this out until this week, is that she just said that they worked better, the county, the Freestone County didn't offer what they needed or whatever, so. And that's all she told me. I did not know that.
I thought I was told one time that the election administrator for Limestone County, and I may be wrong, I thought I was told that they program those machines for those entities and then bring them to them with the program. Now, that might not be what actually.
I've heard that also, but I don't know it.
Yeah, I don't know
No,
either.
that's a fact. I mean, because I know that worked on renting their machines from Limestone County also.
But I mean, if they're doing that, then they would let our election administrator do that.
Yes.
Freestone County, instead of going to another county. That kind of bothered me. I don't know about y'all, but it kind of bothered me that they're having to go to a different county.
So what, if it's just county elections, so this, the next election would be in the fall?
There may be, if there are any
It'd just be for state.
amendments or anything,
If there's an amendment.
if there's amendments, that the governor will call an election. There may not be, there usually are though, aren't there?
Yes, ma'am, there has been.
But it's not a big, usually not a big election like normal.
It's not.
Most people just don't.
Whoever accepts this job or is hired will have quite a bit of time to prepare for the next big election, let's put it
Well, I
like that.
think,
And they, I mean, would you think they would have time to work on the voter registrars stuff as well, this one person?
we're gonna have to get up to speed on all of the election laws. Go to the trainings, that's in the summer, isn't it?
It's usually July, if I'm not mistaken, it's July or August.
I don't know, Linda would be the one to answer that question.
It's usually July or August, and my office will do as much much training as we can now. Getting new machines, that would be nothing that we would know anything about. They would get that training directly from whoever we purchase our machines from. And site support and all that is included and involved with that too. Another thing too, on the machines, ES&S is also giving us some extra $40,000 to $50,000 off to where they would program the machines for, it said if there's a March, June, or November election, so they would be there supporting and doing all that for the training the new person also.
Well, if it's, I mean, if everybody's agreed that we're gonna transfer some money from one office budget to this new office budget, I don't know why we wouldn't go ahead and hire this person. And I know the tax office needs everybody they can get right now, but if this person can help with what she's doing as well, other than getting trained, I mean, you're still talking about several days and lots of time and 40 hours a week. You get a lot done in 40 hours a week if you want to.
When you're saying help the tax office, they wouldn't be helping them. Now, they would train them possibly, but they would take over that duty. It wouldn't be in both offices, it'll go straight to.
Right, if we put it all in one separate office,
Yes,
move
sir.
the computer and everything out of their office.
That's correct.
And then, and I've talked to them, if there's slow times, there's months of the year that they're slower than others, and they would have somebody come in and provide additional work, you know, when they had
Yes.
time. And that's what I'm saying, I'm just thinking that between now and budget time, we don't need but one position and the money's already there, so I don't know why we wouldn't do it.
Maybe leave it with her long enough for her to train this person how to do that,
And something else, Audra,
because it's gonna be, yeah, she
I'll
said
do-
she would come back with
Right.
that.
Right.
And I texted Audra the other day, and she said, yes, she would come back, we just needed to let her know.
said she wasn't working for free though.
She is not, she said she would not work for free though, but yeah, she would come back and help train. And she would be the best one to train because she did it for so many years.
Well,
I remember when Linda, last year, when she gave us that little packet for us to look over, and I actually looked over it. It's the most complicated, something I ever really tried to read through, the dates and the times that things have to be filed, and just, there's just a whole lot to it, and I'm sure after the legislature meets this year, something's gonna change in it again, and the person, we need somebody, we need to have the best election we can have. Most honest election, the most transparent election, whatever you wanna call it. Very important job. I'm ready to hire one.
Did you just make a motion?
Yeah, that's my motion, let's go on, put it in the paper.
and what is your motion?
I have no idea.
She's just gonna try to write it down, so.
Then we,
Is your motion to,
there you go, I need
create
you to help
an
me.
election administrator, to appoint an election administrator?
I can't do it.
Like, create the position of
Yeah.
county election administrator.
Yeah,
Create the position. Yeah.
yeah.
And what you gonna pay this position?
Well, I was hoping,
You know, like one, we're not worried about the pay, they come up and tell us what they want, what.
I was hoping that somebody would have asked the surrounding counties what they pay theirs. You
I
know,
have it,
you know, but,
I don't know.
I have it right here.
well, good.
I have the population and the salary.
Madison County, 39,894. Anderson, 37,020. Leon, 35,304. Limestone, 39,471. Navarre, 44,652.
And I'll just say that our chief deputies make 33,600.
Our chief deputy what?
The chief deputies in the
Oh, wow.
courthouse make 33,600.
Oh, okay.
And then the next, I don't remember what the elected officials
What
were.
was budgeted for the position that you're giving up?
It was less than that.
It's less than that.
25 too, I think. So we'd have to put some funds in there, yeah.
What,
But
did you?
we've had October, November, December, January, February,
Yeah.
That's
and
right,
part
we
of
can
March,
transfer
we've
it.
had nearly 6 months of build up, that position's been building up, so that's
Correct.
6 months, you could pay nearly double what that was. But
Well,
I'm not saying that's what
We
we're gonna
could
do.
That's what you're gonna
transfer
do
it for
next
this
year,
year,
too?
but what I'm saying is,
We're not gonna pay that much.
what I'm saying is the budget for next year would be more.
Sure.
Because it's a budget, we're budgeted 25.2 for this position, and we'd be budgeting whatever difference for the new person. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, I'm just saying that would be the change. We do have enough money in there, we can transfer enough to cover this year. But then the next year, it would increase the budget.
Well, this
Just that much.
administrator's gonna cost about almost twice of what that one employee might. Biggest part of it.
Well, depending on what we set the salary.
I mean, like, down here.
Mhm.
But you have to stop and think, there's an employee in the tax office and the county clerk's office that's doing what the election administrator would be doing. So that's two
But
separate.
I foresee that we'll have to have another employee, so that'll be adding another employee afterwards too, I bet, in the long run.
Well, in Leon County, they only have a part-time lady.
That's right.
So I think,
They have a full-time and a part-time.
so I think that we could probably get by with a full-time and a part-time.
Okay, what do y'all wanna do?
Thousand shy. Two. More
We can create just another slot,
Yep.
depending on what you wanna set the salary for.
What's our population?
19,808.
Our county's bigger than Leon County, they pay less for election administrator.
Leon County's population is 17,000, and our population is 19. Then Leon County pays 35,304.
More than our county pay.
44, their population 50,000,
Pay 44,000.
44,000, yes, sir.
44.6. And Navarro's got an assistant. Anderson and Navarro both have assistants.
Mhm.
And the others have,
Others.
those are full-time assistants, and the others have part-time.
Part-time, yes, ma'am.
And this is what we have right now for our
Yeah.
proceeding.
How much revenue comes in from the school districts utilizing the election administrator machines?
We aren't doing that now.
Right, but like Tig and others are using Limestone County, I just wonder.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm just wondering if if the office would generate enough income.
Of course, if we do that, then we would, that'd be more work that we would have to have, you know, if we got set.
It sounds like it's gonna come to that eventually. I know we need one. I don't want to create a job that's always gonna be asking and draining, you know? But if they're gonna contribute back by doing stuff like that, then it kind of makes up the difference between the 25.2 that's pretty much budgeted
Mhm.
and what that position's gonna pay for the salary. Now, I just don't know, I don't have a clue what kind of charges they may be able to charge. School district's got more money than anybody, they ought to be able to afford it. They get all the taxes.
I know that.
And to get in between those two, the 37 and 35 on the population. Wow. A lot. Part-time. 36,000. That's less than $1,000 higher in Leon County.
Be a $9,800 increase. Yeah.
36 even up money. Anderson County has 58,000 people, and the Bear has 50. They got 81,000 people out there. Wow.
You need to know where that is?
Well, I guess I haven't.
Don't drive over.
Judge, is our motion just to create the position of election administrator, or does it also include a certain fee? How's this motion?
I think we're through with it.
Okay.
Thank you, Doug.
Well, we need to put the salary in our, announcement, newspaper.
Commission has to do that.
Yes.
Or would they set this, no, we gotta
No,
set
we set
salary.
the salary.
But what I'm saying is, did it have to state the salary?
I would think so.
Okay.
Would be good. I mean, if we get this, if we just approve the administrator now, we can later, you know, like next time approve the salary. If you wanna look at some of those other things, we can do that at two different things, but two different times. But we'll just have to get the advertising stuff ready to put in the paper when.
I just gonna prolong it another 2 weeks, so.
Prolong another 2 weeks. I make a motion 36,000.
It looks to me like it's gonna take two people at $25,000 plus what they do over there in their office. That's a different deal. 'Cause they work on elections sound like year round. Two out of this one, then you'll have enough to cover your election administrator and hope you get a good one that knows what you're doing.
But you can't do none of that till budget
I
time.
understand.
But we're gonna
But
know
to
that
make
this,
it slow,
that
this
this,
will
if
be
we
right.
go with Andy's deal, that this position is costing $9,800 more than what is in the budget for it right now.
But we haven't been paying,
Right, I know there's
But
nothing
that will
to get us
increase
through
for
the
next.
end of the fiscal year.
Yeah,
after
right,
that.
next, is what he's talking about, yeah.
Then next year,
right,
that 9,800 gotta come from somewhere,
right.
And then you're gonna have to have
a part-time.
a part-time. So that's what I'm saying, it's gonna take two full-time plus what they do. And they may need some part-time to do what they do.
Not if we take it out of there, we should, you wouldn't,
Okay.
would you? If we took
The way we discussed it is that when we were busy, the part-time person would be in our office, and then during elections, the part-time person would be with the administrator, election administrator. So,
Do you already have that part-time person now?
Well, no, I think the discussion with that is the voter registrar person would be part-time in the tax office and part-time in the one that they have now, and part-time in the elections.
Right, that's what I thought.
Until we moved it over, but that was all just discussion at, prior times, so that was not anything.
yeah, we're not sure who it's gonna be from our office, I don't think yet, but it's gonna be just somebody from our office would go to the election administrator part of the time and be in our office part of the time.
Until we get it completely set up, is that what we're saying? And then no voter registration person would even be in
And in
your
the
office?
budget, at budget time, we would look at it and see what we're gonna possibly do
Okay.
for now.
So we're trying to vote on, or agree on the money.
On the money.
Did we decided the position, have we done, did we
No,
go?
we're still in, we
We're
are,
gonna put it all together?
we are
Okay.
working
We're
on
not
the
gonna kick it
first,
down the road 2 more weeks.
Yeah, no, I'm saying we're gonna get the position, and now we're setting the salary, and then we're gonna make a motion for that.
There you go.
well, we're just discussing, yes.
Did you make a motion a while ago
Mhm.
to,
There's 2 motions on the table.
Wait, well, we need to withdraw one. Let's withdraw all the motions. Is that agreeable?
Mhm. We're gonna
Whoever
make it
made the
again.
did you make both of them?
Yes.
I didn't know there was but one.
Okay, everything is off now.
Okay,
Those are all withdrawn, so let's have a new motion.
and you stated it a while ago. Help me state it.
Oh, the motion to create the position of the county election administrator.
That's my motion.
You want to also put in that for a salary of,
Yes, ma'am, for a salary of $36,000.
that's the motion. You got the motion.
I think there needs to be more in that motion.
All right.
I'll agree with that, as long as it's a part of it, that the part-time help is
All right.
coming out, and everything's getting moved out of their office. So their part-time help would go to this office when they can, when they're slow and when they can.
But now, wait, so, you're saying the part-time, am I understanding wrong, that the part-time position in your office would still do the voter registration part-time, and then as necessary, move it over since it's, okay, so we're not really moving it over, but it's just gonna be part-time, working on that part-time elections as needed.
But
We're
if-
gonna have a person in our office that works in our office, and then when it's time to help with the elections and stuff, or if, you know, something comes up, that person can go over and help the election administrator.
But the actual voter registration would move out of your office, is that correct?
I don't
That's
think
what I was
it
thinking, that computer's gonna move, and so anybody that's helping out part-time, whether it's coming out of Mr. Jarvis's office or her office, they don't have to walk across the street or go upstairs, if that's where we put it. But just making it known that for right now, that's where that part-time's coming from, if we agree to the 36,000 and
And as part of your motion, it would be to move one position from the county clerk's office to the election administrator's office.
I think that would need to be a separate motion. I just wanna hire somebody at $36,000. Then we decide who's gonna move and where.
I wanna know where they moved from and how many before I vote on that.
Well, whoever's out there on the street that wants to be an election administrator.
Well, it's not a person that we're moving, it's just the position, so that the money is moving. So the
Well, why wouldn't we do
position,
that first? Let's have a motion that we're gonna move that money from the clerk's budget over to the
election.
election administrator's budget.
All right, will you withdraw
I'll
your
make
motion?
that motion.
Wait, will you withdraw your motion?
I guess so.
All right, make a motion.
Okay, I make a motion that we take the $25,200 out of the county clerk's budget and move it over to.
And payroll-related expenses, hospitalization, everything that goes with that. And move that to election administrator
Yes.
office. That's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, aye. Now,
But you're still a long way from 25. I know you're carrying this money over. When you get in real life next year, when you make the budget, it's gonna take more than that one person out of that office to float the deal.
That's right.
yeah.
And I don't like coming up paying them out of contingency either to do it.
All right, let's address the part-time next. Do we need that in the motion? All right, that one person in the tax office will work part-time as needed in the election office. Is that the motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is that the motion? Is that the
But
motion?
there won't be no money change, right? Like, I won't have to do anything as far as half the time take it out of elections and half the time take it out of tax, because I can't put them in as two.
You can't take it out of elections because there's not gonna be no money in the budget.
Well, put it in elections, she meant transferred it out of the tax office and put it in elections.
May I ask, she's talking about a full-time employee splitting their time. Is that pretty much what we're saying?
Yes.
Does that explain any better?
Like so.
Instead of saying a part-time, we're saying one position is gonna be split between two
Part-time in
offices.
the tax office and part-time in the election office, election administrator office. Is that the motion?
Yes.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye. Aye. Motion carried. Now, does that take care of everything? No, it
You
doesn't.
know,
No.
Oh, no, it's not, okay. Now make your motion.
Well,
One more time. And your motion is to appoint, to create the position of county elections administrator.
third time's the charm.
I think we should have done that first before we moved this money into an office that we hadn't even approved to have.
Okay. You want her to say, put yours first on there?
I would think you would need to create the office before you start moving money into the office.
Well, there was already a line item for it to go to though.
I wasn't, not for the election administrator.
Elections, it moved to elections. It moved to the elections department.
Oh,
Yeah,
In
okay.
salary.
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, on our election administrator, 36,000.
We gotta vote if we're gonna hire one, then we gotta vote on the salary. I don't wanna do it all at the same time.
Okay. Hire one.
We have a
I'll
motion
second
to
that.
create the position of elections administrator. And we have a second. All in favor, aye. Opposed, none, motion
Okay, did
carried.
you second that? Who seconded? I'm sorry.
I did.
Thank you.
All right. Now,
Salary at 36,000.
And what about next year?
Don't know next year. Don't know if you pay your taxes.
are you thinking maybe we'd start a little less until we get trained and then look at it next year? Is that what y'all are thinking, or?
I guess it'll just
What
come
did you,
down
say?
to.
What did you say the people make, the chief
Chief deputies
Yes, ma'am.
make 33,600.
It's a big job with big responsibility.
Very big.
I mean, huge responsibility.
And I think it would need to be at least that,
33,600?
at least. And then somewhere between that and the elected officials. I don't even know what they make quite often. I don't have that.
I'll make a motion that we set the salary at 33,600.
Okay, we have one motion. Did I like a second?
I'm sorry, did somebody else already have a motion on two?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
I
yeah.
made a motion to set the salary at 36.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a second? If there's no second, then it dies for lack of a second.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we set the salary at 33.6.
Afraid you'd be jumping all over that bar.
Not enough money for that position.
Come budget time, we could,
We can pick up or down.
that's what I'm saying, it's kind of getting the ball rolling.
You ever want that ball to be full of air, whoever we get. I don't want to be half flat.
You remember that golden egg there? I took it up right there.
That's,
I want the best person we can have, we get.
yeah, the golden goose that laid the golden egg. I remember it very well, they did the headlines.
Stanley said that, didn't he?
Uh-uh.
All right, if there's not a second,
Go triple M.
Y'all got to do something, it's fixed to be dinner time.
Why don't you do something?
Huh? Waiting on y'all.
Here's another scenario that the judge and I had visited with before when Audra was there. She was there for many, many years and she did the elections, that when she retired, a lot of her salary's going away and they have to hire at the beginning level. So there's some money
as
there
does
also.
everybody else though.
Exactly,
Yeah,
everybody's does.
yeah,
But
right.
there's also some money there
Yeah.
that she did elections in that office.
Mhm.
So that's just a
That's
thought
true.
too.
So that would be money that the tax office would be giving up out of their budget?
When somebody quits, you have to hire in at the entry level, so that left quite a bit of money that she was making top numbers, she'd been here for so many years. So that released a little bit of money for that person that did elections.
And y'all got how many new people now? 4?
Yeah.
How many's in y'all's office now, total? 6?
6 include me and 6 others.
So 7 total in y'all's office?
Yes.
How many in y'all's office?
6, count me.
Seven and 6, is that right?
Okay, so you were at 36 and you were at 33.6. It's 2,400 difference. Can we split and go to the middle? Or just, I mean, we gotta get off high center here. If James was here, he could auction it off.
It
Right?
sounded like a calculation.
As far as in my office, we had 5 in there, 1 is just part-time. Sorry about that.
I'll split the difference with it.
I just made, I mean, I don't know, y'all, somebody else can talk
Why
about
don't
it.
you second it if he's,
I'm not sure I want to do that now. I don't know, I mean, honestly, don't know. I mean, I'd like to get somebody hired in I mean, they may stay here 4 months or 6 months and they may go somewhere else. I mean, you know, and qualifications, I mean, are we gonna have somebody maybe that would apply for it that's got the qualifications that could do it just right then, or, you know, or not? I mean, I think that would make a difference.
So you're saying maybe we should look at who has applied and discern at that time what we will budget? We can do that.
I'm not sure anybody's gonna take the job not knowing the salary.
I wouldn't think so.
county commissioner, I didn't know what it was.
I didn't look at
You
it.
need a job.
Yeah. Didn't have a clue.
You split it with me, Lloyd? I mean, Clyde?
I'm waiting on Lloyd and Craig to make something.
I'm the new guy, I'm trying to learn from you guys.
Really got some mentors, I'll tell you.
All right, have we already said that one died for lack of a motion?
The 33.6, yes.
Okay, so we need a new motion.
That puts it, splitting the difference puts it at what now?
What?
34.8,
Yours was 36 what? 36 even?
36 even.
34.8.
It'd make it 34.8. I'll make a motion, we hire one at $34,800.
We're all looking at you.
I'm still trying to figure.
I like when I'm playing cards with my grandkids. If we're all looking at you, you know it's your turn.
We'll see where it goes. I'll second your motion, Andy.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Motion carried. Item number 16, voting machines. Do you have the latest amounts on the voting machines?
Do we have?
I wasn't giving anything extra, he said, in this last email
Do
from
you
what.
have the amounts that we had from before? I don't have this right, that right in front of me. We did get a note from ES&S. One last note on the contract. If Freestone County chooses to go with ES&S, we would be happy to rework the contract to include coding services for free for the first year of using the new equipment. And the coding services are about $40,000 to $50,000. So they're coming down on that for the first year. And the quotes were ES&S $287 and Hart $299. But ES&S is giving us another discount. So
Another
each,
40,000.
Mhm.
Another 40,000.
or between 40 and 50, yeah. So ES&S then, for the purchase and for this first year, is less.
Did the other bunch ever get back with us on, whether they got approval from the,
I don't know that they have, did they with you?
He had not back with me.
No.
It was supposed to be that very next week,
No.
but I don't know. It was supposed to be the very next week. I haven't heard though, but I do know that those curbside ones, he said they're gonna be about $1,500 each. If I can remember correctly.
And ES&S is made in China.
Some of their components,
Huh.
but I think some of the components of the Hart things are, I don't remember the component that they can only get from China, which we need to be working on and creating in the United States, but
It's kind of a no-brainer.
yes, it's a motion.
I make a motion to go with ES&S.
Yes, sir.
It took you 4 times, but of course you gonna get it done.
You think about let the new election administrator pick?
We could.
I'm just joking.
It all depends on the vote.
I'll second Andy's motion.
All in favor, aye. Motion carried.
Thank you, Joe.
Item number 17, consider recommendations from the CPS board to appoint Rhonda James, Kayla Skinner, and Beth Smith, and Crystal Walker to the CPS
I'll
board.
make that motion and,
Second.
And thank y'all. All in favor, aye. Motion carried. Item number 18, consider allowing Ryan Tolliver to opt out of the county medical insurance. And you said it's not gonna affect our, the number that we have. We have to keep a certain percentage in order for them not to change our rates.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carried. Any comments from commissioners, court members?
I'll make the motion with adjourn.
wait, That's all I have to say.
Wait, what, North County?
Kirkman Chili Supper
No.
is this Saturday from 4 to 7 or 5 to 7, somewhere anyway, their benefit for their fire department, volunteer fire department.
Being they brought up fire departments, I did receive a call, and some fire departments are, none of the fire departments in Freestone County have struts that basically protect, that they'll put up against a leaning vehicle when they're trying to cut somebody out. The struts they have are for passenger cars and pickups, but they're not for 18-wheelers. And so, apparently, the other day, the vehicle started falling on over while two people were down there trying to cut the door off to get somebody out of the vehicle. And it's about $24,000 for a set of them. And you could put, a set would actually, you could keep them in two different places. You could split them. But the people that do said that they would keep theirs on their first response truck, I believe is what it's called. And that way, anybody that needed it, they would send that truck out to any department. And then it, but you know, all of the departments would have access to them. But they're just thinking that Fairfield, TIG, and DO is more likely to use them more often because of the interstate.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just something to think about, something to talk about, but cost is supposed to be about $24,000, which is a lot until you divide it amongst all the fire departments, and it don't sound so bad.
Okay,
Something to think about.
let's see what we've done. All right, anything else? Motion to adjourn,
I make a motion.
I second.
all in favor, aye.